Hey everyone, it's May and welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be about how to choose a major for college and my kind of process choosing my major, and I just thought it would be fun to throw in all the other majors I could have seen myself doing. I graduated from CSULB in May. It's crazy to say that I'm like a graduated person now. I started this channel when I was in college, so it'll be interesting to see where it goes now, but I definitely do want to keep making videos about my college experience in addition to vlogging my current life. For a lot of you watching this, maybe you're about to embark on your freshman year of college in fall. I know it's going to be kind of weird if you're doing like the whole online thing. I think most schools are going to be online, so it's definitely going to be different, but you do have to choose your major unless you're going in undeclared, so hopefully this will help you decide, and maybe hearing my thought process will help as well. So what I would say is, first of all, it's crazy that you're supposed to like know what you want to do with your life when you're so young. Like, you just graduated high school, you're like 18, and you're expected to choose something that you're going to then turn into a career. So just to take some of the pressure off, there are a lot of different things you can do with different majors, and you're not like confined to one career. You can always get your master's in something else or try a different career path. It's not like completely boxing you in. You can always go in undeclared and then choose a major later after taking some GE classes to kind of see what you like, because I would definitely caution against like going into something that you're not sure if you're gonna like it, taking a bunch of classes, and then realizing later that like you want to switch your major because then you've wasted all those units. So it may be better in some cases to just go in undeclared, take a bunch of GE classes that you need to take anyway, see what you like, and then try something. But different things work for everyone. It just can delay your graduation if you end up changing, but it's definitely better to change than to stick with something that you hate. So if you're stuck on deciding, why does this chair keep moving? Oh my god. Anyway, I would think about your hobbies, like what you like to do, what you find yourself drawn toward, but don't limit yourself to that, because your job doesn't necessarily have to be based off of something that you absolutely love. I don't know if people go into college and are like, wow, I'm so passionate about accounting. Like, they probably have other hobbies and they didn't even know that like that was something they liked until they tried it. A lot of things I feel like you just won't know until you try the classes. Like, it's kind of hard to conceptualize what a lot of those majors are just by looking at a list. So maybe if you find a vlog or a informational video or something from someone who is in that major, just like looking it up, maybe they're explaining it or something, I would recommend that. You can just like try classes. Like, when you have GE requirements, you can look at what different classes you can take for those and just see if there's something that interests you, and if you take a class for a GE, it's counting anyway, and then you might end up liking it and wanting to do that as your major. So yeah, I guess my message with that is just to like not think that you have to make a career out of like what your hobby is. Like, there's nothing wrong with having like a day job that you like and doing like hobbies on the side or like as a side hustle. I definitely went into college thinking that I had to be like graduating and publishing books, and like that was the only career path that was acceptable, and I definitely have shifted my views on that a lot. So yeah, now I'm going to talk about kind of my journey with choosing a major and all the times I thought about changing it to something else. So when I was younger, I was really into music. I played flute in band all the way from 5th grade to the end of high school, and for a while I was really serious about it. Like in middle school, 7th, 8th grade-ish, I was like, I'm gonna major in flute performance. That's what I'm gonna do. I want to like make a living out of like performing in an orchestra or something, and I practiced all the time and I was super serious about it. And then in high school, I think still freshman year, I was thinking that, and then I was like, you know what, actually no. And for a while I thought I was going to do music therapy. I was looking into programs, like what colleges had that. I was like, that's perfect for me, I'll totally do that. And then by junior year, I was thinking I was going to do international business because I was really enjoying my French classes. I thought that because I liked French, international business was the thing for me. And so that's kind of how I did my first college search. I wanted a small private college in the Pacific Northwest, and I wanted to study international business, so we did this tour where we went to Whitworth, Gonzaga, and University of Portland. I loved Gonzaga, like fell head over heels in love with it. I was like, that's where I want to go to college, and I still have a place in my heart for that school. It's in Spokane. It was absolutely beautiful, not too small, not too big. The campus was amazing, the city was amazing. Anyway, and then senior year I was like, Actually, why did I think that just because I liked French meant that I wanted to go into business? I want to study linguistics because I think language is cool. Except I didn't actually have any idea about what linguistics was. I mean, how could you unless you had taken a class or done extensive research on it? But I was like, oh, it's a study of language, that'll be interesting. And that's what I applied to all my colleges as. By that point I was like, no, I actually don't want a private small school. I want a big public school. So that's what I applied to. I was gonna do something with linguistics and French, and that's what I got into CSULB as. And then at my SOAR is when I changed it to English, because I was thinking like, no, I think creative writing is really what I want to study. And I have talked about this in my English major video, if you want to check that out. I do wish that our program had more actual creative writing classes instead of just literature classes. That was one thing that I really didn't like about it. I really love the creative writing classes that I took. I just think that there should be more classes, even if not more creative writing classes, than classes that are still literature based, but like modern literature, like not from the 1900s, but like actually modern, and discussing what about those books makes them marketable instead of just analyzing literature, and more emphasis on like the whole business of publishing. But that's just not our program, and I don't fault myself for not trying to find one that was more geared toward what I wanted, because I think it is pretty rare in a BA program for all that to be in it anyway. From what I've looked at with other programs, it's honestly pretty similar to CSULB's, but obviously, if I had known that I wanted to do that and exactly what I wanted in the program, and I'd done more research, maybe I would have been able to find one that was a better fit. But it just goes to show that like when you're looking at colleges, like you truly don't know what you want yet. You've never taken a class, you don't really know what you're getting yourself into. And this isn't saying like I'm not trying to bash the program. I had a great experience and everything, and I learned a lot. This taught me what I want and what I didn't want, and now for a grad program, I know like exactly what I want it to have, and I can narrow down my search a lot. Anyway, I started my freshman year and I only took one creative writing class my freshman year. I was doing mostly GEs, and then second semester of freshman year, Jillian, my roommate, was in one of the like medieval lit classes, and it was killing her. It was like so much work, and I was like, you know what? Why am I doing this? Like, I don't like this. It's too much literature. This isn't what I want to do. And so I thought about majoring in nutrition, and I was really serious about it actually. I did research on it. I talked to one of our friends who majored in nutrition. I even emailed the advisor for that college before talking myself down and being like, you know what, Malin, you really can't understand science and you hate it, so I don't think this would be a good fit for you. I feel like in another life, if I was more scientifically inclined, I would have majored in nutrition. I'm interested in healthy eating, healthy living, and I would be passionate about like getting people access to healthy, nutritious foods. I know there are like food deserts in the US and stuff, so like trying to work with that. And honestly, my dream job as a nutritionist would be to work for my 600-pound life and be the nutritionist that goes and helps a person. I just think that would be so cool, and like kind of educates them on different swaps they can make and like what a 1200 calorie a day diet looks like, because that's what they're put on with before the surgery, like how to up their protein and feel full. Anyway, I don't know. I watched this series on YouTube from Abby Sharp. She's a registered dietitian and she like reviews people's what I eat in a day and stuff, and she talks about other issues as well, and I really like her. I just think it's so interesting, and I've learned a lot from her. But I think that like being interested in like nutritious eating and all of that isn't really the same as actually understanding all the science with everything that goes on in your body. And like, I have a terrible track record with science. Like ever since elementary school, I've hated it and I haven't understood it. So I just don't think that would have been a good fit. Another thing that I never really seriously considered, but I have thought about as like a what if, is kinesiology, again with the science. But also exercise is something that I am super interested in, and like I wish I knew more about like how different types of exercise affect your body and like how to get the results you want, I guess, and like helping people live healthier lives. I know my yoga teacher from CSULB graduated with a kin degree, and now she's like a professional fitness instructor. And I know, but I'm not fit enough to do something like that, but this is why it's in another life. So another thing I could have seen myself majoring in is obviously linguistics if I had stuck with that, because like I said, going into it, I had no idea what linguistics was. But then once I took the linguistics classes, I think that if I was more patient and interested in all of the technical aspects of linguistics, I could have been one of those like researchers that went to another country and helped people develop their language. Like I had a professor who had worked in Ethiopia, and he helped this group of people get their language recognized by the government, created a writing system for them, and documented everything. and that just seems like so cool and such a cool way to help people. He had to know like the Amharic, which was the like national language of Ethiopia, to communicate with them. So like you kind of need to know other languages for the most part if you're going to do something like that, and then you're also helping people with their language. It just seems so interesting, and obviously that's not the only thing you can do with linguistics, but I just think the research side of it sounds really cool. But I just don't think that I have the patience for all really deep learning all the technical aspects, because I only took kind of the overview linguistics classes for that. I didn't actually take like a straight up phonetics class or a straight up phonology class. And I think that might have like turned me off of it, because it might have been like just too complicated, but who knows. Also, I could have seen myself maybe majoring in French, maybe a double major if I had majored in linguistics. And was more passionate about it than I am, but I have just kind of realized like I want to be fluent in it, but I don't know that I have what it takes to actually practice and try hard enough to really get good enough at it that I could use it, because I feel like honestly I probably could have majored in French and I still wouldn't know it well enough, because taking classes isn't going to get you fluent. You have to practice speaking and listening to it all the time to get there, and I just truly don't know that I would have had that drive. And then finally, I could have seen myself doing something in business such as marketing or finance. I think marketing could be really interesting. There's so many things you could do with it, and it would kind of still give me a chance to be creative. My mom majored in finance, and I think my dad did too. He majored in something in business, so I could have kind of continued that. I never really liked math, but I was good at it, and I feel like I could have seen where that took me and if I found that interesting. And lastly, I could have seen myself doing film. I do find myself really drawn to movies. Like when I write, I definitely want to write books, but I can also see them as movies, and I wonder what would have happened if I had tried like screenwriting. I just think that I would have only wanted to do screenwriting and not the whole production thing, and I don't think there was a way to do one without the other. Like I think you still probably had to take all those classes, and for like, I know they had a bunch of theory classes too if you're a film major, and honestly I'd rather analyze literature than movies, so I think I made the right choice with doing creative writing. But if you are someone who's interested in creative writing but is more drawn to movies than books, film might be a good avenue for you. That is kind of my journey slash what I could have seen myself doing. I hope this made sense, and I hope this was somewhat helpful for you guys. If you want advice, leave a comment down below. I can't promise that I'm going to steer you in the right direction, but just keep in mind that like this isn't like you're locking yourself in for the rest of your life. Just take some GE classes, see what interests you, and you never know what might come up. And if you do end up having to switch your major later and stay in college longer than 4 years, like at least you found what you really loved in the end. That is my thoughts on that. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in my next video. I make videos every Monday. Please like and subscribe, and I will see you next time. Bye!